Ladies and gentlemen, it has been 7 episodes, 7 whole episodes since the episode with the 3-step method where I won some games, but I have not gained any elo in those games. Why? I did not execute proper technique. So in this game we're gonna go back to the 3-step method, which contains looking and understanding your opponent move and plan, understanding your own plan, where your own pieces belong, making a plan, and lastly we calculate in the order of forcing moves, so checks, captures, threats, pawn breaks, and then if anything else fails to that or is not attractive, we go to a positional move. So with that in mind, let's start and find a game for ourselves, play 10+5, and we're up against Tim Jack from Brazil. Let's play e4, the most played opening ever. He plays a Sicilian, knight f3, this is all theory. And he plays a Sicilian French. So, for the Sicilian French, I don't know. We're just gonna play mainline theory, we're just gonna, make him happy, make ourselves happy. I don't recommend going into the Sicilian as there's a lot of theory there, and now already as of move 4 I'm out of theory. So what's his plan? He is about to take a pawn. Okay, that doesn't look great as this pawn is undefended. So automatically knight c3 comes to mind. Knight c3, bishop b4 to maybe go after this pawn again. Bishop d3 perhaps. After takes, he has ruined our pawn structure. So knight c3 is a backup. It works to retain the pawn, but maybe there's a better move. Maybe just bishop d3, so there is no bishop b4 check, and the bishop doesn't know where to move. Bishop d3, maybe knight c6. Now our knight is unprotected, and we might just move it away. So we might just move it away in this position after bishop d3. Yeah, everything has a bit of a up and a downside here. What about bishop knight c3, bishop b4, knight c2? Bishop d2. After takes. I thought I maybe could go here, but my knight is blocking. So that's also not the way to go. So I didn't really like this. And I didn't really like this either, but purely for the fact of the double pawns. But these double pawns, I don't really mind them. Also, he gives the bishop pair for it. So let's, after a long consideration of moves, still go for our knight c3. And he plays d6, so he doesn't go for the line, which was most critical, and plays a very passive move, which makes his whole position quite passive. So there's no... Well, what does this move entail, though? It entails that this bishop is open now. Okay, it's not really open, but by moving the pawn from here to here, it's a little bit more open. Knight c3, knight c6 is probably still his next best move. Bishop e7, just very passive. And often in Sicilians, these types of setups are really great, but I know from experience if you put the bishop on e3, there is something like knight g5, so I'm gonna play a very flexible move, bishop e2, to prevent knight g5, so he cannot grab our bishop pair, And we're getting ready for castling. Alright, a6, what is his plan? He wants to go something like this. Right, and then develop something like this. Alright. Now we want to castle. You might want to play f4. We want to put the bishop here, perhaps. And perhaps play queen d2, connect the rooks when we're castled, and centralize the rooks. Just simple chess. Just super simple chess. So let's calculate now. As there are no checks, well, there's one, but it doesn't make sense. There's a capture, but it doesn't make sense. there's maybe this, and then takes, and then g6, and then it stops, and then it doesn't make sense, right? Pawn breaks. Well, we have e5 on the board, and then he attacks. I should have done some attacks here. Not really, because even though he hasn't developed, it also has the benefit of not having any pieces out to be attacked. So it makes sense. So we just castle. There's nothing better to do. We might want to play h3, f4, bishop e3. I don't know. All right, bishop e2, e7. Sorry, gets ready for castling. So yeah, it also, you know, supports the knight a little bit more. But overall, just very passive, nothing really going on. No real concrete plans yet, and so do we have the same. So let's play very simple chess, bishop e3, as previously mentioned. Now that we have established a plan previously, we don't need to spend, you know, every move doing the same thing. So castles. So let's say queen e2, knight c6, f4, takes, something like that. We can also play queen e2, b5, going for b4. You know, everything looks kind of solid and the same. You could also play h3, but this is not yet a threat. I mean, e5 is on the board. That's definitely so. e5 could be something that's annoying, because it's, you know, pushes my knight away. e5 is a great move, I think, for black here, because it worsens my position. I have to go back, blah blah blah. Doesn't look good. So a way to prevent that is f4. So he does do that. We take, and we can put a knight back, but now we have an open file to work with, so it looks a little better. I think I'm just gonna go for it, and I don't see any way for him to make use of my weakening of the king, because my bishop is still here, and anytime I feel uncomfortable in the position, I can play king h1. So yeah. If he plays knight c6, he doesn't. b4. All right. So b4 aims, b5 aims for b4, and we'll attack my knight. That's the whole idea, right? And I say this rook is undefended. Yeah, I basically say that the rook is undefended. And if I manage to put the bishop here, and this stays like this, and I can push for this, after takes, he has to move away, but it's not a good plan. Okay, that's not a good plan. His plan is to move b4. Bishop c f3 still doesn't look bad, but it has to be properly executed, I guess. And also it makes space for the knight to move into. So even though it doesn't work, and I don't see any better moves, so I'm just still gonna play it. Bishop f3 also makes it a little bit, you know, I feel like bishop on f3 is a bit more active than here on e2. And b4, knight e2, and maybe going to knight g3. That's the plan. And again, it's actually not so easy here to find your way through. The only target I see here is this rook, and because this is you know, not properly developed yet, it might be the case that we can take use of it. But it's not easy. As time suggests, we might even get into trouble. So he plays e5. It's a good move. It's a good move. You obviously want to take, open up this, and okay, we have made a mistake here by putting the bishop here, as the bishop is now blocking a rook. So we didn't, execute properly or that good, but we might still try for that plan, right? So what's his plan? Well, he just wants to stop me from playing e5. He didn't see the variation where he could go here and nothing's going on. So here I still want to open up this bishop, and for that reason I want to go knight f4. His plans are very limited. I only see b4, knight b4, bishop b4 and anything like that, and I could stop it with a3, but I don't feel the need to. Also, my knight is attacked. We should move it. So I think knight f5, targeting this bishop, which is probably his best piece. But also, if he takes and take, we are attacking the rook. Note that now that the pawns are traded and the knight has moved away, that the queens are now staring at each other, and there's a possibility of a queen trade. We should be aware of this, as in some possibilities, one of these pieces might be a rook and we might blunder our queen. So his plan would probably still to be bishop b4. There we go. And now that bishop b4 has happened, it's not a surprise, but it's still something we should work out. Bishop b4 has the intention to obviously trade the knights, right? And we don't want to allow him to trade the knights. If we move it to ed5, where I actually want to put it, he can just take, and then take our knight. That's not good. Since we don't want him to take it either, what should we do? It's a very hard question actually, which I don't really know the answer of. So let's try to work it through. Well, we could play something like queen d2. So if captures, captures, and if he takes our queen, we capture back with the bishop, but now I feel like we're getting slowly more passive. What else? Well, are there any checks in though? Are there any other captures we could do? Not that I see. So my best guess here is that we're actually not even better, we're slightly worse. That's what I'm assessing right now. Well, bishop here does stop this, but I don't really want to trade knights. Aha, I found something. I think queen e1 is a great option, with the intention of playing queen g3. You can put the rook here. If he takes, we take with the queen. There's no eyeing on the queen anymore, so it's not really trying to be exchanged. Blah blah blah. All right. Bishop b7, threatening to take here, and if takes, he takes the queen, or he takes here, and then he wins a solid pawn. That's a good move. And we don't have much to say here other than go for our own plan first, attacking the queen. So it's more like a switch and sook, and we open up scope for the rook, for possibly moving into one of these squares when the opportunity presents itself. That's as far as my calculated goes. And then we might consider something like knight g3, considering to defend the pawn. We could also just sack the pawn and consider that, but in light of the time, I'm not gonna do that. In light of the time, this is attacked twice. In light of the time, we are in huge trouble, but we can play this. I don't like it, where the current position is just horrible. So let's just be solid now. We don't know what to do, so we're gonna react to our opponent's plan. We defend the pawn for now. The knight on f5 was actually a great square. It's definitely not the best move, but in times like these, where we're in dire time trouble, I think it's best to resort to simply reacting to your opponent's plan. And if your spidey senses are tingling, definitely look for the tactic, but it's not here. And I think still, if black plays this wrong, we've set ourselves up pretty nicely for a potential attack. And when that opportunity presents itself, we know exactly sort of what to do. We have a good intuition of what to do because we analyze position pretty truly. With the 3-step method, you do get into time trouble, or that's just me, but I missed the opportunity to go here and threaten mate. That's maybe, yeah, I should have considered some more there, but alright, it's all good. Let's play this move. Ask him questions. Where are you putting the bishop? Do you want to take? Do you not want to take? And if he takes, we take with the queen, I think. But we definitely missed a chance here. He goes back. So now we can go again. Go forward. Attack this again. This is now properly defended. And even though we're low on time, we understand the position where we're in now, and as long as no pieces are traded, if the whole energy of the position changes, but we have a plan. We have a plan, ladies and gentlemen. We go here and mates, and if he goes here, I don't know, but you know, he goes there. So now we go queen g3, going for mates. Going for mates. And all this consideration of where to put the knight, bishops, and blah blah blah. Okay, this was the only bad move, I would say, but still doing a great job defending the pawn. But the optimal placement of our pieces has made our position slightly better. And I'm not saying we're winning, I'm not saying we're gonna win, but there is a good likelihood that something like that could happen. I think g6 is the move now, and we should calculate in our time since we don't have that much time. So here we might just take here. We don't have any, you know, crazy pins. If the bishop were to be here, he would not be able to play g6 as this pawn is pinned, and we could simply take. But I think g6 is definitely the move. You cannot play knight h4, h5 because, you know, I'd simply take. You can also go here, but then mate here, and if we then take with the bishop here, that's interesting. But we could also take with the knight, which is also interesting. He moves, and we could scoot out of the way. It's hard to say. And if we take here with the bishop, we get more pieces into the play. He has to move this, and yeah, the king is basically stuck. So I kind of like this for now. And the bishop could just remove itself, and then this would open up this line for the king in front of the king. Could also consider something like bishop h5, but now knight takes. That's not great. So definitely we're definitely better, but we don't really know how to continue this line. Let's say rook here, back, and after takes, I already don't know what to do. So maybe I already misplayed this. Maybe I should have taken with the knight. I'm still thinking bishop here, so we avoid any nasty checks. But that will be the next move. We can also play king h1. So let's play bishop here, I think. Avoiding any checks, which could be one of his plans. And this bishop is still protected twice. We could have considered a bit more here, but I think another plan we could do here, after things are exchanged, is to go queen h3, queen h6, and queen g7. And we have to calculate this. So after takes, queen h3. Let's say rook here. Just trying to mess with our plans, but it's protected, right? This rook, which just has now moved there. So we're ignoring and we go here. And he could stop it by playing knight there. Also, we're hanging the knight. So that's not a good plan. Come up with a new one. Yeah. It's actually not so simple. We're up a pawn, we could trade, but trading's not great. Knight goes to here. Yeah. Okay, ik doe hem zo. Could also take here. Let's just play simple chess and let's just take. Trading a great knight for a bad bishop, but you know, there are worse times. And now we're gonna try to pin this. And he has a check, but it's not really too dangerous, I think. And we're just gonna try to liquidate position. There was also just a pawn hanging here. Don't know what I'm doing. Alright, he wants to go here. That's a reasonable assessment. We're really low on time and really should get a move on. But let's go here. Just avoiding any checks, getting the king to safety. And we're gonna play this next. Queen h4. And his plan, oh, he took something that's not good for our, you know, mental health and stuff. Let's go here. Now this knight is unprotected. So yeah, we're definitely falling under pressure. We're definitely, you know, making some concessions here. Yeah, we're definitely not aiming to win here. We're definitely aiming to survive. Knight back, let's go here. We only have 5 seconds every move. King g2 here. And if he doesn't do anything, we take. Now after this takes, I was wondering if he could go here. But now with the queen here, maybe it's not so good anymore for him. Here. Wait, king g6. Knight here. If takes, take. Cannot push because my rook is here. I think knight e5 is definitely a good move. He protects it with this. Okay, let's still do this. We don't have much time to calculate here, unfortunately. And we are attacking this 3 times now. So he should respond with take. And after take, there's no h6 as we can just take. We could take here. If it takes, that's not possible either. Yeah. But we lost the pawn, the extra pawn. Yeah. And we still want to push this pawn forward somehow. Okay, takes another pawn. Let's make a move. And now we're trying to just stack. Maybe knight here was better because now you can just move here. Exactly. And we have to move here. Admit our mistake. Well, idea here could be to go here. To go after this pawn. You could also have taken that pawn right away. So we're definitely falling into the time pressure. And we're not doing any sensible moves at the moment. Let's go for this pawn. But we still have some sense of positional play here. We're still looking at tactics. These are stopped here, like they are kind of stuck there. He defends it again. Okay, we have to make a move. And we want to keep the pieces here to keep this pressure and figure out a way to, you know, maybe draw this game. Maybe. Stay ambitious and maybe win. Yeah, it's definitely not easy, but we'll figure it out. Let's see. So So now it's well protected, but maybe I could take here. I think that's a plan. And after takes, we could take here. So we have evaluated that this was not beneficial to us, and now this threat could be beneficial to us. Alright, he moves this. Alright, that makes sense. But we're still gonna take, because now he loses this pawn. There is the threat of this. But I'm not sure what's going on here. After check, retaking with the knight, we have here retake, and we have a queen for these two pieces. And if he goes take, check, sacrificing the queen, king there, okay, that's also a possibility. But now we have mate on the board, I think. Check, take, and we go here with check. I think this is winning. So after knight, after rook takes, we have check here. He has to go here, and we have mate on this. And we've managed to squeeze ourselves out of all the problems here. If he doesn't take, we also have mate. And yeah. Don't know what happened there. We definitely misplayed when we were in dire time trouble, but we won here, also on position. After takes, check, and after here we have mate. And I don't see a way for him to avoid this. It's mate in 3. Very nice. Very nice game. And this, again, the 3-step methods, very nice until we get in time trouble, and then we do have a sense of what to do. And yeah, there's still ways to go with the method or my execution of it. Let's analyze the game. So we had a Sicilian French, where we didn't know much about, but we worked our way through it. After knight takes, knight here, we had knight c3, and I expected him to go here to make my life a bit harder. Like if I do nothing, he takes, and takes this pawn, and we're down a simple pawn. So he didn't do that. He played d6. But if he did do that, we would play bishop d3. And after the captures, we still would be quite fine. So here's where our calculation came in. He didn't do that and played d6, locking in the bishop. So we played bishop e2, castles. And after he, slowly developed all his pieces, he played f4. And here, we didn't analyze the pawn break e5. We played bishop f3, which was not a good move at all. It's not a bad move, but it's not a good move. The whole point here is that he wants to play e5, and we kind of stopped him from playing e5 by playing f4, but we didn't follow through on the plan and played e5, so he can never play e5. Now after, if he would place the knight on d5, we obviously have to calculate this. Engine says take, and after, I don't know, why is this good? We cannot take here, that would lose the advantage. After queen takes, well, we still have an edge, but the engine suggests here to play something like either a3 or bishop d3. And I guess bishop d3 makes the most sense. a4, sorry, it was a4, probably because of this structure. But here you have a very concrete plan of mate. And it appears to be that this is quite hard to stop. Let's say he develops the knight. This could be already a mistake, I think. After queen h5. Exactly. And after g6, you're already weakening up the squares around your king. You could just simply put your queen on h6. Wow. And I think the plan here is to play like something like f5, f6, and mate. if that makes any sense. We didn't play this, but this is very instructive. He wants to play e5, so why don't we do it? And it's also beneficial to us. Instead, we played bishop f3. There are some Sicilians I heard that it's good to play the bishop of f3, so I kind of, did it on that note, but obviously theory is not good. Opening theory, you should avoid it. And just play moves that make sense. e5 makes a lot of sense. This allows him his plan, so that was a bad execution of the technique of mine, but we're learning. And after these few moves, with 1 minute on the clock, I kind of, got scared. But we're definitely better. So, with proper play, you win this. And you suggest knight e5, and after knight takes, because you don't want to, let him take there. Oh, you have queen g3. Wow. So you have to stop it with g6, and I think now you can take the knight. That's some crazy zook, hustling around. We just dropped the knight back, and I think with that move we lost all our we lost all our advantage. But yeah, knight e6. These are all panicky moves, so I'm not too judgmental of these moves. And here I do wonder what the best move is, because we have a lot of moves here. And look at this, 8.1, guys. Even though, you spend a lot of time in opening, look at what this got to us, even with the panic. Knight h6 was passed, but we played bishop, rook a to d1, and yes, I think it makes sense, because with bishop here, I'm forcing him to make a good move by putting a rook on an open file. Bishop back, bishop here, knight there. We put our bishop there, and now finally he put a rook. Oh no, wait, I played king h1 first, which was, by the way, one of the best moves. He took, and yeah, I moved away. I judged that if I take, I'm only giving him the open file. And after queen h4, let's say here, I wouldn't know what to play. And bishop, the engine says bishop e2, everything's fine. We're just gonna chill. The knight is not going anywhere. If he goes here, we just take. Probably. Yeah, well, that is one. Whoa! I had the rook attacking this as well. Oh wow! Didn't realize that. I didn't realize this for 7 moves. Oh, I could have just moved it, and then I would attack this 3 times. Oh, that's a blimp in my chess game, and I moved it as well. Wow. Okay, but here I think we're still better, somewhat, not a lot. And bishop takes, rook takes. It was actually a killer move here. And after taking here, that was just mate. Apparently you could also mate like this. And after knight takes, rook takes. Oh yeah, obviously here, and you still have mate. Ah yeah, of course. So there was no need to take this knight. Alright, that was the game. We have a higher rating. And a very instructive game here, where we didn't really, manage to squeeze out everything during the game, but after the game, some instructive moments where I think the most instructive one was to, add the pressure on this knight by simply playing the bishop out anywhere. Anywhere would have been fine, because this one is falling. It's attacking. Okay, after this, it's attacked 3 times. King here, and I still think you have something like shack back. I don't know. Must be something. Bishop e2. What? Alright. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I will try to figure this out. Why is this good? Like, let's say he makes any move. This looks like a great move, right? How is white winning? After queen h4, king back, because you need to protect this. Rook d1. Oh, you're gonna trade it off. But after takes... Oh, bishop takes. That's why the bishop belongs on e2. That makes a lot of sense. And after you go back... Why am I picking my nose? After we go back... h6 check... or here. Back here. Come on, engine, think. Better moves. Queen. What? What's the point of this? You're just doing nothing. I can do nothing as well. h6 check back. What's the whole point? Takes, takes. Whoa, 95 here. But the bishop doesn't have to go there, right? If the bishop just stays on the deck. h6 back. h3. Oh wow, and now you try. Oh wow, this was the move. This was the move. Yeah, obviously it's so logical. Yeah, why didn't I come up with that? Oh my god. Alright guys, thank you guys for watching. See you guys next time.